I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Take roll, Mayor.
Murray?
Here.
Patrick?
Yep.
Getzinger?
Here.
Job? Swacky here.
Approval of our March 2nd budget and workshop minutes.
Motion to approve March 2nd work session minutes as presented.
Is there support?
Second. Oh,
Yeah. Support.
All in favor?
thank you.
Aye.
Aye.
We're not doing this in a
No.
consent.
Motion to
Not yet.
approve our March 8th regular meeting minutes.
Motion to approve March 8th regular meeting minutes as presented.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then a motion to approve our March 30th election commission meeting.
Motion to approve March 30th election commission minutes as presented.
Support. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Set and amend the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Does the
Support.
agenda include the change of the date of Purple Heart to May 10th?
Yes.
Okay, thank
Yes.
you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we have an agenda to work from. Bills?
I'll make a motion to approve the fire bills previously paid, $40,782.25. General, $20,085.23. Fire department payroll, $84,531.75. General, $26,424.80. Current open fire invoices, $24,696.21. General, $13,345.06. Tax disbursements, $544,102.55. Trust and agency paid, $5,467.89, for a total of $759,435.74.
Support that. Are there any questions about the bills?
I only have one. I should ask it's probably a chief question. There was a bill for, looks like for Miller Canfield, $3,500 for installment purchase agreement. Was that just?
That's to do all the paperwork for spending public money.
Okay.
Yes.
So we
Go along.
typically have that type of expense with it?
That's
Yes.
necessary. Yep.
Then I had a question on that IT support service for 1,290, and it says April service, so that's a monthly?
That's monthly.
A monthly thing. And then I had another, on the attorney bills, like, I'm not caught up on that. So like that one case that looks like we're spending some money on that.
Regarding the
Would-
animal control
Yeah,
ordinance,
what-
probably?
Yeah, what,
Could
that
you-
book-
It's our attorney keeping us posted on the progress that Chief Randazzo is making with the animals.
so is Chief Randazzo the animal control?
From the county?
He's chief,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's all I had.
Any more questions?
Nope, that was it.
Murray?
Yes.
Getzinger?
Yes.
Patrick?
Yep.
Swacky, yes. Job?
Yep.
Okay. Now, under public comments, we have our large item disposal date, Saturday, May 20th.
No, that's correspondence and information.
Oops. I stacked them in the wrong order, I'm sorry.
Are there any public comments?
Public comments, please.
I'm sure you know why I'm here, same as every year. We graded the road last Thursday and choked on dust all last weekend. We graded the road the Thursday prior to that, so they keep coming out and fixing the same mistakes they keep doing. I see you have on the agenda tonight, limestone is in somebody's future. Where's that gonna be at?
Right now, it's proposed to finish 33 Mile Road and then start 34 Mile Road at the West Township border.
Okay. You know, I don't understand why they don't get it to wet that stuff down when they disturb it, because it just goes airborne. It goes everywhere. Well, look at my car right now, it's covered in stuff. You know, I've been coughing all weekend. I went out, tried to clean my yard up, and, you know, I'm choking on this stuff. And I come to you, I've been coming to you for years. You used to tell me, well, I'll make a call, I'll do something. Now you try to pass it off as a county road. You approved the limestone. I have that firsthand from somebody.
I've never put an application of limestone on,
You approved it. Someone called you.
I have
you
never
said
put
go
an
ahead.
application of limestone on Omo Road since I took office.
And you see what's going on. I mean, Flint just settled their water deal for $660 million at the taxpayers' cost, no doubt. This is what's gonna happen someday with this limestone. They're gonna find out, anybody who wants to read up on it, they'll see how dangerous this stuff is. You know, it has to be sealed down. You don't just put it on a road dry and leave. It has to be sealed down somehow. It's meant to be a base. You put concrete over it or something. You don't just drop it on the road and leave. Winds up in everybody's front yards, bouncing off our windshields. Dust, we're choking on it, you know. I know I don't get far with the two of you, but there's 3 other people here I'd like to appeal to anyway. And see if you guys can, I know you say it's a county road, but it's a shared road between you and Richmond. And I don't understand why the leaders of both townships and the road commission can't get together and make things safe for everybody. I mean, I'm sick and tired of it. This is just getting ridiculous. It's becoming chronic with me, this cough. And I don't smoke, I haven't smoked in my life. So where's it coming from? Every time I go out, I notice it comes up on me. So, I mean, I'm just here to, like every year, appeal to somebody to do something about it. So,
Thank you, Mr. Calvin.
What's his name, sir? I didn't hear your name.
William Keller.
William Calvin?
Yes.
So, I'm just here to say, it's gonna be the same thing this year, and I'd like to see something done finally, some kind of resolution to this. It's ridiculous. It's not a good choice for a road material, not the way it's applied.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Oh, by the way, this, I printed off your website, it's from the Department of Roads. It was on there today when I left home. It says MCDR constantly, spends more than total funds received for maintaining roads. If they did it right, they wouldn't have to come back 3 times a month and do it all the time. If they don't do it right, so they, yeah, it's, you know, you can't build a farm with staples, you gotta use nails, you know, it blows down every time the wind blows, and you're not doing it right. So they need to look at the way they're doing it, do it correctly.
I do appreciate your concern. We have,
Good evening. Marcia Hollins, 20120 Armada Ridge Road in Armada. On April 1st, the first Saturday in April, I listened for our new alarm system that was in place. I recorded it. I was in my home. I recorded it at 1:01 p.m. I could not hear it still. I know it's very close to me, and it's on the corner of Hicks and Armada Ridge Road. I just need to know, what should I be hearing? Should I be outside to hear it? Because outside I heard it faintly, but inside my home, we could not hear it.
if I may, I got an update from the chief today. It's been an ongoing project now for over a year. There's only 4 of the sirens currently hooked up, plus the original. So they still, DTE still hasn't wired them, and even once they're wired, they need to be turned on. So, Chief, can you elaborate on that? Because I've been after them pretty steady.
We've been working with, West Shore has done everything they needed to do, they're all installed, poles are set, they're all prepped, but it has to go through DTE planning. So 4 of the 12 have been wired. I just got notification today that the rest of them are, actually emailed our representative at DTE, he must have contacted, and I got them, they're all in planning. Once they're all wired, West Shore will come out, and they'll literally flip the switch. When they work, there'll be no doubt that it works.
You could be in your
If you
basement.
hear it, then that's not it.
That
Like,
sounds-
one on Romeo Commons side. But the reason is they gotta get them all up, and then West Shore will come up and literally have to flip the switch to turn them on.
Thank you.
Yeah, we've had words even during the last storm when it was, suspected that we could have bad weather, so. Are there any other public comments? Hearing none, now we'll move into our correspondence and information.
I got with Jeff Gomez and asked him what date would be good in May, and he said the 20th. So I have that all set up with,
May 20th
with them.
for per bar?
Large
No,
item.
no,
Large
for
item.
large item.
Large item, right.
Yeah.
Right there.
And that's at the transfer site between 9 and 1.
Yep, and they'll be published.
Cool.
I'd received an email today from Melissa Holmbrands, Macomb County Road Commission. The public should be aware that starting on April 24th, 23, the Olcott Road will be shut down to through traffic. It'll be open till traffic till May 19th, and the completion date is June 30th. So potentially, it'll be down for 2 months. They're replacing a box culvert under the road on Wolcott Road. The proposed date is from April 24th to June 30th.
Because the sign just saying 17.
Well, they're saying,
Well, it said
It's
open to
open to the
traffic on May
traffic.
19th.
yeah, till May 19th. I did see the 17th, but this is the email I received today. And we'll put it on the website for the public. Fire Department reports, Chief?
Evening, ladies and gentlemen. Last month, we responded to a total of 72 calls. EMS was 45, fire was 27. We provided aid twice, both of Spruce Township for fire reports. Average response time for EMS was 5 minutes 45 seconds. For fire was 8 minutes and 23 seconds. An update on our ambulance we purchased. It will be delivered tomorrow, based on tonight, will be delivered tomorrow to the graphic shop to get the graphics put on it. After that, the very next day, it will be delivered to the radio shop to get all the radios transferred from the old to the new. After that, the EMS coordinator will with the state go through all the required state inspection needs to be done.
Inspections, yeah.
We will have lengthy training with everybody before it goes into service, because it is a different vehicle. And then once everybody's trained and comfortable, we'll put it in service.
Mhm.
Cool.
Any questions?
Great news.
You're good.
On our code enforcement report, we do have the dog daycare. They have been told that they have to get in front of the zoning board of appeals. Again, they did hire a professional planner. They're trying to get plans put together so they can approach the ZBA with their variances. They haven't done so yet, and I've told them they need to get moving on it. Planning Commission?
We got started a little late because we had some technical difficulties. Everyone was present except for Joe Cucci and Steve Arnold. We did have a meeting together with the township board. Jim was unable to make it, but John, Mary, and Monica were there, also our planner and planning secretary, Chris. Read and received reports and correspondence. Revised draft of the zoning district table was discussed. Another slight change was discussed. It was supposed to be in Chris's hands last week. It still has not arrived. As of today, she still has not gotten it, which is not a surprise, but it's unfortunate. The commission voted to send it to the Board of Trustees for a vote with the change that was discussed, so that should have come to us tonight, and it didn't. The meeting then proceeded to discuss the master plan with the Board of Trustees that were present. There was a lot of great discussion as to how to proceed, what we felt should be priority, what isn't a hot priority, what has already been accomplished on the current plan, survey questions, etc. Discussion also covered water and sewer, school districts, current, future housing, commercial and industrial. It was also determined that there was definitely interest from the village of Armada to join, and we will be extending that invitation to them for next month's meeting as well. So we'll do another joint meeting next month. Chris is gonna try and get in contact with the two school districts as well. And she did put together, and I don't have a copy of this for anybody because it's gotta go to the planning commission first, but just a master plan survey out of, you know, all the things that were discussed and stuff. So once we get, the commission, you know, looks at that survey and makes any more notes or whatever, then it'll come to the board to see what's going on. And the meeting adjourned about 9:30.
Okay, thank you. Our building department, for the month of March, we issued a permit for a pole barn, 4 electrical permits, 2 mechanical permits. There were a total of 7 permits issued. The building inspections were 14, electrical inspections 10, mechanical inspections 12, and plumbing inspections 1, for a total of 37 inspections. McCormack PDR, Ken?
Good evening, board members. 2023 Macomb PDR application cycle is open for residents in the 6 townships to submit applications. The deadline is July 7th, 2023. The landowner in Bruce Township for the USDA NRCS, bunch of letters, PDR program has declined their offer. The appraisal came in lower than what he was expecting. And also with the federal government, they only do 50% of what the appraised value is. So the owner decided to apply for this next cycle for the state of Michigan's PDR application cycle, which goes up to 75% of what the appraised value is.
That's a
So-
lot, that's a big chunk.
That is.
It's a
Yeah.
personal decision, and
Yeah.
they know their
Yeah.
finances and what they're looking at and stuff. Things are being finalized slowly but surely for the 78-plus acres in Richmond Township for that agricultural PDR purchase. And when things get close to finalize, I'll be letting the board know. And I'll be up later in the agenda for another part, but if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you, Ken.
Okay.
Parks and Recreation, I handed out a light inspection sheet. It was done yesterday by Musco Lighting. They did, they checked the light protraction at all spots of the field and wrote the averages up. Again, everything's checking out great. They're getting ready to get the game started under the lights, so.
Yeah, it looks like it actually exceeded what they guaranteed. to,
Yeah.
so.
Yep.
And then Gary mentioned, he sent me an email too about the lights being almost ready. He said he needed keys, extra keys.
Got them
They're working
ordered.
on those?
Yep,
Okay.
yep. Water and sewer update. Here's the letters that we joined in with Bruce Township on. This is the congressional districted funding request. We only had a couple of weeks to get together, so
Why don't you go ahead and read it?
both letters?
Read it?
Yeah, I would read it. That way they know what's going on.
Okay, these are both the same letters. One is to Senator Gary Peters, and the other one is to Honorable Lisa McLean. The Township of Armada is pleased to provide this letter demonstrating our support full participation in the Bruce Township request for congressionally district funding for the Tri-Community Wastewater Treatment Plant construction project. Bruce Township is proposing to construct the Tri-Community Wastewater Treatment Plant and related sanitary sewer extensions to serve its community with options to serve neighboring communities, Armada Township and Ray Township. Armada Township is fully in support, and I will work with the collaborative partnership to achieve this necessary goal. Small towns and rural communities such as Bruce, Armada, and Ray are looking for ways and need assistance in strengthening their economies, protecting their environmental assets, improving quality of life, and financing necessary assets. All three communities are rural and have had requests to allow significant expansion and development of industrial and residential zoned land within Bruce Township and the neighboring communities. It is imperative that our rural communities with very limited financial resources receive help that can be encouraged economic growth where businesses can thrive and families can live. Through working with neighboring communities collectively, we can tailor a wastewater treatment plant and sanitary sewer extension program that promote economic success while bolstering our sustainable philosophy and preserves our large agri-grain zoned areas for which our communities are known and proud of. We respectfully request assistance in helping our communities achieve a balance of industrial, commercial, residential, and agricultural opportunities. Bruce, Ray, and Armada Township need creative local solutions to survive. Unfortunately, neighboring communities are aggressively pursuing annexation of our properties. It is common to trumpet the need to protect rural communities and their agri-grain economic, environmental, and socio-cultural benefits. Yet the actions afforded those with greater financial resources trump those of lesser, and the result in negative consequences that ripple throughout the nation. Armada Township enthusiastically supports this multi-jurisdictional project to accomplish this regionally beneficial tri-community wastewater treatment plant. Armada Township has fully designed and engineered a water and sewer project for the entire length of its industrial corridor. The original wastewater treatment plant was engineered and designed by Tetra Tech. We have already invested several $100,000 to install a water main in partnership with Bruce the township to supply water to our wastewater and sewer district. This project came to a halt because the funding was too great for the current businesses on Powell Road to take on. We respectfully request that you consider Bruce, Ray, and Armada Township funding requests, and please contact us if you have any questions, require additional information, or need clarification relative to the project or Armada Township support. And the actual request was for $19 million. Macomb Orchard Trail, I got nothing. Senior Center, the March report. Our knitting group is growing, and the ladies are really enjoying themselves. Last week, we had a gentleman come in and dropped off 2 bags of yarn his wife no longer needed. The knitters were elated. Bingo is always a hit. Last bingo, we had 7 new ladies join and bringing our total up to 29. Cards are catching on. We play after bingo, and now once a month on the designated day, our cornhole league starts next month. Potluck was great, 30 attended. Mystery trip, our big fun for the seniors. We ate at the pantry, then walked down to Debbie's Dollar and shopped. 16 attended. Our local lunches are fun. We average 18 to 20. Our big bus mystery trip took us to the Royal Treat Tea Room, a Victorian deco with great tasting food. Then we went to the Cracker Barrel to shop. 25 attended. We had a lunch at JL Barbecue House in Romeo. Great place if you love barbecue. 18 attended. We wrapped up the month with our trip to Allenton for potluck and cards. It is nice to share food and fun with our fellow seniors. 14 attended. Thank you. I love my job. Donna. Thank you, Miss Donna. Treasures?
You have the summary in front of you. I'm going to reference the money that is in the credit union. I'll get to that in a minute. We had our settlement meeting last week with the county on the 6th. Everything went really well. There was one issue remaining that was due to an adjustment made by the assessor, and once we straighten that out, everything will be fine with the county. So last year's settlement was our first year, was a little, wasn't bad, but it wasn't as easy. This year definitely was much smoother. In looking over our accounts at other financial institutions, I have decided to close the ones at the credit union. I was offered federally funded and insured CD through Choice One Bank that the credit union couldn't match. They did give me a quote on a CD rate. They couldn't match, they couldn't bring it up any higher to match what Choice One was offering. And they're not real easy to deal with, and the numbers just weren't there. So I talked to
What credit union? Is it the
Macomb
Michigan?
Schools and Government Credit Union. That's down,
That's
it's in the
weird,
first
yeah.
section.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not doing bad, but the CD rates are so much better, and Choice One offered.
Okay.
And so I called Justin at the credit union and asked if there was anything we could do, which would keep the money there, but, gave him an opportunity to come up, and he just couldn't. So I did close those accounts, and I will be taking that money to Choice One, and
Now, as far as risk diversification, and it seems like we have a lot of money in Are we only insured to a certain
No.
amount? or-
No, we are insured up to like $500 million, or can
Right.
be because of the investment policy, so.
Okay.
And I had actually talked to a different financial advisor probably about a year or so ago. And he actually told me that we just had our money in too many different places. He said, you need to consolidate. I said that it has to be in certain funds. He said, fine, put it in one place, but, keep your funds separated the way you need to, but you just have too many different banks you're dealing with.
That's weird.
How much is the rate at, Choice One?
Choice One was offering 5% for 6-month and 12-month. And the credit union could only offer me 4.2.
Cause Fifth Third is 4.5%,
Yeah,
10 months right now.
right.
Yeah,
So,
close.
it's close.
Yep.
Yeah, and it just, if the credit union could have brought it up like 1% or something, it wouldn't be worth the time to do it, but it was a considerable amount, so. So I did talk it over with my deputy, talked it over with the supervisor, and, just to make sure that, and so that's what we're doing. We're gonna get some more money in, and I do have assurance from Walt at, Choice One that because we do have over the 250,000 within all our accounts, he said that's not a problem. It goes up to like, I wanna say, I can't remember, but I wanna say he said like 500 million we're covered.
Wow.
So, so that's that. Kinda quiet in the office now that we're done with taxes, so I've been boxing up and labeling all of last year's stuff and, keeping it handy for audit, but, getting things cleared up and ready for this current fiscal year. And I've also been able to go upstairs and help Chris or do some more organizing of all of those building records that are up there, so, so that's it.
On, on the treasurer's report? No, but you can,
I mean, according to this in the back, I can ask if you to address, and I address you, I can I? Okay, Ms. Murray?
Yes,
Can you, you're saying you spoke to him about the risk issue?
yes.
What's the name of the credit union again?
I didn't talk to the credit union about the risk issue. I talked to our, Choice One, who holds the majority of our accounts.
Okay, so is Choice One a community bank? It's a local community bank, correct? And you're saying that someone there told you that above the 250,000 limit, we're fine. Now, this was
Yes.
verbal, or is it in writing or
I
something?
have it in writing.
Okay, so.
I didn't print that out, but it is in my email. I can get that to everybody.
Yeah, I'd like to
Yeah.
see that with the local bank too, and is it just guaranteed? It's not FDIC guaranteed, and it's my understanding that you're not supposed to put funds unless.
I know. Typically, it's $250,000. And so that's why I wanted to make sure, because this is taxpayer money. I'm not screwing around with it. I want to make sure that
I know,
every
but-
penny that's there is accounted for, and so,
But
yeah,
this
I'm not-
insurance policy is for,
it is an FDIC, but it is for an investment purposes, so, yeah.
that's okay, but that's with the bank, with the bank that you're saying. That's not quite as, I'd like to see it, and so I'm gonna ask to see a copy of that.
I'll make a
Because I'm
copy of
very
it for you.
concerned that when you say insurance on investments, it's different than insurance on cash, on deposits.
Yeah, I will make
And
you
how
a
long it
copy.
would take, and what would be involved, and whether there would be court proceedings. So, we'll get together on that?
Sure,
Thank you.
I will make a copy for you, Marcia, no problem.
Thank you, Marcia. That was good.
Yeah,
Yeah, to get a copy of it, that's wise. So
yeah, and I did, I specifically asked him to get it to me in writing, because it is a concern, it is taxpayer dollars. So I wanted to make sure that everything is absolutely covered.
nothing on the internet subcommittee?
No, not yet.
Okay,
Sorry.
As far as the fire station feasibility study, I did talk to the chief. They've received, I believe, 2 interested parties in setting an appointment to come down and take a look at what they need there. Apparently 30 businesses have downloaded the information to take a look at the restoration and rebuild of the fire department. So that's in process.
Nice.
I'll make a motion to receive and file reports.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. 10A was the request for the written auditor's recommendation on the budget amendments.
And why did we just get this today? We were supposed to get this last Wednesday by noon,
Yeah, I didn't bring it in.
and we're supposed to act on this right now?
No, it's just information.
Okay.
You just wanted to see the letter
Okay.
from the auditor.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's no action or motion or
Okay.
anything. It's just
Okay.
how it can work.
I'll work on it. Okay,
Yep.
all right.
And then again, the Purple Heart will be moved to our May 10th meeting.
Right, I talked to Commander Alvarado, and he wants his senior chair and his junior vice to attend. So I'll make that motion to change the date to May 10th so that Commander Alvarado, his senior vice, and junior vice can attend the reading of the proclamation.
I will second that.
He's very excited to go. Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion carries. The 2023 limestone, I've been in touch with Don on several occasions, attached our emails back and forth. We talked about the dead-end roads, how they won't take their gravel trains down there. They will do spot repairs if people have a problem and they want to call. They'll take a smaller truck out there and do spot repairs on the roads. Right now, we've done 33 Mile Road from Powell Road east, I want to say east of K-Pac Road. So the suggestion, after we talked about the 3-inch application, they said it's not off the table, but that there'd be additional cost because of the trucking time and equipment, manpower on the road to do, if you will, 6 miles as opposed to 3 miles. So I said we'd entertain at least knowing what that is. Even when we do our brine treatments, they tell us how much it'll cost for another brine treatment. So, just so we know what our options are. But he also was cautious about it because if we start doing 3 inches and there's 7 townships that they do 3 miles in, now they have to do all 7 townships like that. So it could be a big expense for the county, was their concern. So assuming that it was gonna stay on a 6-inch, I had them completing 33 Mile Road through to North Avenue and any remaining material coming from the west border of Armada Township on 34.
Why did they go with 6 inches? I mean, our driveway, it's like,
Really high.
you're like this getting out onto the road, and when you get in, you're like dropping.
And I remember
did they
that from
go that
last year,
high?
we had calls that people
It
I think,
not get in
it
and out.
was
I think,
crazy.
my guess is,
How much gravel you get out of
well,
one dump?
if you're starting with a road that has pit run gravel and it's muddy, you need 6 inches to have a base so it doesn't just disappear. Now, we're dealing with roads that we've already,
Got 6 inches on all of them.
yeah, we've already addressed once, and so they've been raised, and possibly 6 inches as a standard isn't necessarily needed, but
Right.
that's how their
It's-
contract is set up, so it is hard. I understand the county's perspective. They if they're bidding it for everybody, they need to either they need to change their specs to be 3 inches, or
Well, we started
do it on
talking to them
6,
too
but
about
sure.
3 inches after we got the calls on the driveways
yeah.
last year.
And I called them. I spoke with them a couple months ago on this, and they said the same thing, which is it's really not practical to. It's either all or nothing kind of a thing, and if as a township we choose not to do limestone, well, that's certainly an option if it's that big of an issue.
Yeah.
I've never
Where are you
watched.
gonna find 3 miles?
Yeah, oh, I'm
that
not.
kind of
I'm
money?
No,
not
I was
saying I
gonna say,
support
what
that
happens
option.
if we
I'm just
take
throwing
Can't
it
bigger
really
out
get a
off if
driveway
there's
done
so
here.
many
I haven't.
people that had such high road issues and driveway issues, what?
Sure.
Yeah,
You know,
and
what
then
happens if we
we
take
did
it
have a
off?
couple of county trucks come out and push some of the stuff, down, scrape the,
Yeah,
the ramps
I do
off.
think
Just
over
seems
time
like
it
a
gets worse.
waste.
Did
I
it
just-
change?
yeah.
If yours was.
Yeah, ours is, I mean, it's
Is it better now?
definitely better, but it's still
Yeah.
higher than what it was. It's still, like, you're still going up.
Yeah, we have to keep in mind too that the True Road section between Armada Ridge and Center had a second application put on it already because of the
Detour.
reconstruction, right, and the detour for the reconstruction of West Main.
Well, we'll probably see it go down then, because once Wolcott is closed, it's gonna be, 33 is gonna be crazy.
If I may mention to Don, What's his last name?
What's that?
Spoke to Don. Who's Don?
Don Brown, our county commissioner. So that's what we got.
Yeah, in my opinion, they're offering us a match for 6 inches. I have no issues with the roads that you recommended. Unless the board's aware of another road that needs it more.
Well, Dayton, they wouldn't go down there, right? I mean,
Right.
Dayton needs
Dayton
it,
they would.
so-
Well, Dayton
Well,
they
Dayton's
do,
smaller.
no, it's Florence.
Oh, it's Florence.
Florence
That's
and
it, it's
Irwin.
Florence, okay.
Florence and Irwin, the
Okay,
dead end
yeah,
ones.
all right.
So, but they said that, if there's a problem, they'll spot fix anything,
Oh, okay.
so they'll
Alright.
take a truck in and the county guys take the graders in, whatever.
All right, so right now the plan is to complete 33 Mile Road to North Avenue from where they ended last year.
And use the
And then the
balance on
remaining
34 coming
34.
west from the
Okay.
township border,
Okay, I'll make that motion.
or east. I'll second that.
Marie?
Yes.
Swacky, yes. Joe?
Yes.
Eric?
Yep.
Getzinger?
Yes.
Okay, I'll get the limestone put down. I'll send Sue an email. I told her I'd let her know once
Okay,
we got
just
it
copy me
approved
on
at the
it.
board, yeah.
All
Yeah,
right,
did,
thank you.
and I apologize, I meant to ask this, have we communicated with her ahead of this meeting that we,
Well, I talked to
Okay.
Don on the 3rd, and that's when they needed the information. She had sent me a reminder, and I hadn't heard back from Don, so I double-checked with Don again on what the road commission had told him. So he actually had the road commission call me. So,
okay, but as long as they knew we were,
Oh,
We're
yeah.
still
we were gonna
interested,
be
yeah.
late, essentially, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Appoint a water and sewer committee.
Okay. I would like to be on that. I was part of that 23 years ago. I know the history of that. I was down at the county when part of Powell Road got annexed. And there's a lot of emotion in that, but very few facts. And I'm glad that that letter was read tonight regarding the water and sewer, because that's the first I've heard of this. So, and I also had stated before, we never dissolved, the board never dissolved. The former Water and Sewer Committee with Jim and Steve Nickel. And Jim, that's his area that he works in. I really think that Jim needs to be part of that, continue on that committee, and I would like to be on that, because I think that it's vitally important that when we're talking $19 million, that every board member has every bit of information monthly. There needs to be a report what's going on. If nothing's happening, why do we have a committee? This is a big deal. We've already lost a portion of Powell Road through annexation. That's gonna cost the developers, anybody that wants to go in and develop. And now you're looking at this kind of a bond issue. Is it feasible that the federal government is gonna come up and help with that? We don't know. But I know one thing, I know I will be contacting everybody. And I will let this board know everything that is happening always.
All right. I'll make a motion to appoint trustee Job and trustee Getzinger to the Water and Sewer Committee.
I will second that.
Certainly I'm willing to help in any way I can, and I have no issues if Monica's on the committee. I will say that based on my experience, the last time I was on the committee, I don't, unless there's full support for the board, for a committee, for the committee members, I don't think it's in the best interest of the township to go through what we went through. It's hard, in my experience, I felt like, and I hate to throw anybody under the bus, but when trustee Nickel and I were on the committee, I felt like we were having meetings and the supervisor was having meetings, and with the same, it was just ridiculous in my opinion. So as much as I'm happy to help and would happy to be on that committee, if the supervisor isn't going to support that, I don't want to be on the committee. I'd rather either Monica and the supervisor, or myself and the supervisor. If I'm he hasn't spoken on this, so maybe he's okay with this, but I think that's important. I don't want to waste my time or the township's money if it's not going to be a support of the board. Again, it's 100%. If you guys all think I should be on there, I'll do the best I can, and I am familiar with that stuff, so I'm happy to do it, but I think that's an important point to make.
Okay, we'll take the vote and then decide from there. Swack, yes. Murray?
No.
Job?
Yes.
Getzinger?
No.
Patrick?
No.
I'll make a motion to appoint trustee Job and supervisor Patrick to the Water and Sewer Committee.
I'll second that.
And I'll say that, during discussion that Jim does have strengths in the water and sewer end of it. And I think Jim would be a good nomination to the committee. And he's pretty organized, too.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Swack, yes. Murray?
No.
For not to have John on there?
What's that?
Well, John and
No,
Monica,
that's-
that's
Well,
the
you're
motion.
going, John and Monica was the
John.
motion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I made the motion. Anybody second it? And
Yeah,
she
Monica
seconded it.
seconded it.
So now I'm taking
Right.
the vote.
Right.
Okay. That's fine. All right, Swacky, yes. Murray, you said no?
Right, I said no.
No.
You're correct.
Okay.
Sorry.
Job?
What one are we voting?
We're
on?
voting, okay, we already did the one with you and Jim, and that one failed. Okay.
Okay, this is me
All right,
and
this is
John.
the one for you
I'm
and
gonna say
John.
yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yikes,
Getzinger?
confused.
Yes.
Patrick?
No? Okay.
Okay,
Motion
it's a
carried.
go.
Yep.
Motion carried.
Yep.
So Monica and Supervisor Patrick are on the Water and Sewer
I'm
Committee.
I'm still happy to help in any capacity I can.
Cool.
It's all good.
West Shore Services, extra cost. I was contacted, the chief got a hold of me and said that they needed fill, and then we had found out that they had to vacuum 3 of the poles because of the location of the poles to gas lines apparently. So there's an additional cost for the vac service and an additional cost for the fill that was brought in. We got a hold of Dean Reinhardt, it had to go pretty quick, so he's got the load ticket and the cost. And I would, make a motion to pay West Shore once the sirens are operational.
I would agree with once everything's operational, but not until then. Those were my thoughts.
And that would be in the amount of
3009.
$3,009.03.
Okay, that's your motion. Sarah, you second it?
Yes.
Uh,
This is for after
That's-
everything's done.
Right,
Okay.
once the sirens are operation, then we'll pay the funds.
Well, a few comments I have. One is, have we paid in full for everything
Yes.
else? Oh, okay.
Yeah. no,
This
paid.
is being held
This
just
was just
for
extra.
for incentive, I guess. I mean, it's a bill. They definitely had to do the work. I'm kind of surprised, being familiar with factors, I'm kind of surprised it took them 7 hours per hole. I don't necessarily agree that could have been coordinated and probably done all 3 of them in less than 7 hours, in my opinion, but maybe that's how they charge us per day, and maybe they scheduled it one
Could be.
hole at a time. So,
You think it would take less than 7 hours to do 3 holes?
oh yeah,
Okay.
I own a Vector. It's for a telephone pole. I shouldn't say
You
I
gotta
own a
go down
Vector.
pretty deep,
Mike,
though.
So I,
Talking 20 inches in diameter?
no,
5 feet down?
they're probably,
10 feet down. How much? 10 feet down. Still.
they're not 20 inches probably either.
It would take an hour, 2 hours.
Yeah, I'm guessing, that's just based on my experience, but
Well,
I'm
even if you
I'm
go-
putting my 2 cents, and I'm not saying
Even
that
if
we.
you go 2 hours a hole, we're somewhere around $6.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. But again, I don't know their billing practices. Possibly it's, you get them for the day, and that's how it was set up. Maybe West Shore could have been more efficient in scheduling all 3 at once. I don't know how that process worked, so.
might have
Well,
been,
this bill does
might have been
include
to
the
and
fill
from.
material as well as not just the,
Yeah, I was just
actual
looking
work,
at the
so.
hours they charge.
Right.
But, so I just wanted to at least make that.
they may have
that,
included travel time too. for wherever
It
they
says
came from.
2 foot by 8 foot. Actually, deep is what it says on here. So it is 2 foot hole, I apologize. 2 foot diameter.
that's a big one.
Marie?
Motion support for once
Once the
the
sirens
sirens
are
are operational, then
yes.
yes.
Swacky, yes. Joe?
Yes.
Pittard?
Yep.
Getzinger?
Yes.
Take care of that, Bill. Armada Lion Charities, they're asking for,
Actually, policies and procedures.
policies and procedures.
I just had one question on page 13 where it has the annual vacation. It says 1 week. Shouldn't we have hours there like the CBA does in the fire department? Because 1 week is like 40 hours. I mean, it needs to have hours.
Well, isn't our hours really 28, right?
But it should
28.
still state it. I just think it should be more specific. That's just me.
What page are you on?
13.
13.
Sorry, I couldn't find
I
it.
don't know if, I mean, it's a typical work week. I mean, is what, so it would just be a work week, so whatever.
Number 4, it does say employees will be paid for vacation time on a basis of their current hourly rate. Oh, hourly rate.
Hourly rate,
Duh. Yeah.
Well, and, item 2 says part-time employees are
Based
receive
on
1
their-
week paid
on-
on their
on their
average
hour-
weekly
On the
hours.
average week, yeah,
Full-time.
Yeah.
Ted-
I understand that. I'm just saying the 1 week. I mean, if they work 6 hours a day, 7 hours a day, I'm just asking.
Yeah, but
I
don't
think,
you run them all together and
take
figure
half
out what
an
the
hour
average
off.
it
So
was?
if you're working, yeah,
But
based
the
on how
full-time
many
employees
hours a
don't, the
week.
full-time employees are salaried anyway. So really, their vacation time is figured in their salary.
Right,
So they take a week off, they're not gonna get any extra amount.
right.
Yeah.
I just
So,
wondered about
I think when we discussed this, because everybody works a different number of hours per week, it was hard to list the number of hours per week.
well, Chris is only full-time,
Right,
so.
so,
I just wanna make
and
sure.
she's always
Yeah.
here every day, and
I just wondered about the,
Yeah,
so
I
what
would-
day-
what
personally,
were
I
you-
would leave it, because those are the hours.
Well, we
of
also,
operation.
yeah, but we also have Donna, we also have Gary.
Gary's
mean-
not full-time.
Yeah, they're
well-
not full-time, though.
Donna is. Well, she puts in
Yeah, we
enough
did
Donna
hours.
made
put
her
her
full-
as-
yeah,
We
she's
did put
actually
her as-
classified her as
yeah.
full-time during
Yeah,
the
we did.
discussions.
Yeah, so we just have 2.
Yeah.
I'm just asking about the hours, that's
Mhm.
all. So,
Yeah, I mean,
That's fine.
this is what, that's the consensus we had, that's why it's in there.
Yeah,
but if
based
we-
on the weekly. Makes sense.
I'll make a motion to approve the policies and procedures manual as presented.
Second,
Marie?
yes.
Swack, yes. Pittard?
Yeah,
Getzinger?
Yes,
Joe?
Yes.
I just want to say that we've spent a lot of time on
Yeah.
this, I do appreciate that that the
Nope,
board is open.
I appreciate you, Jim, thanks.
now we move on to the Armada Lions Charities.
Yep, I had Kaylee from Blake's dropped this off about a week and a half ago. She always fills out the paperwork for us, and I appreciate that. So I'll make a motion to approve the application for special license for Armada Lions Charities from August 26th through the 27th, 2023.
Support.
And to be clear, that's for their Cider Days
Cider days.
Festival.
Yeah, she doesn't have that listed here.
Yeah,
I mean, I can
is it
put in
supposed to list the
parentheses.
event, or where the?
They don't have
they just
to.
listed
I
the
could put
address.
in parentheses cider days.
Yes, Cider Days should be a part of the motion.
All right, I'll put that
I
in
would
there.
support that.
I'll amend the motion to include cider days. All right,
I would support that as well.
Swack, yes, Marie?
Yes,
Pittard?
Yep.
Getzinger?
Yes,
Joe?
Yes.
Shoemaker Technologies, our website.
Dawn contacted Kyle, and to revamp the website, it would be $1,750 for the website redesign. The annual hosting fee would be $300 per year. I think right now it's like $250. And each department would be responsible for updating their own section of the website. And then also, for on-site training, there's a $150 fee too. And I've discussed that with Chris and Sarah,
but
the
they have,
on-site.
They do have Zoom training.
for free.
For
yeah.
free, yeah,
Yeah.
but Chris said she'd like someone,
Oh, okay.
Okay.
we'd like someone to come in actually,
So
because Zoom,
this,
I think you missed a few things with Zoom.
This was to make it easier to use for employees to update.
It's for each department to update their own section, so
Okay.
nobody's stepping on anybody's toes.
That's good.
I guess the next question is too, did we ask Solvit if they do websites? Our IT
I
company?
did not.
So who hosts
Did-
it now?
STG Shoemaker.
okay. So
That's
it's
who we
the
have
Did we
right
get
now.
company.
other quotes or anything? I would be interested in looking at other quotes before we make any decisions.
I'm just wondering if our new IT company does websites.
Yeah,
Oh.
okay, then that'd be starting from the
Is
very
there-
beginning, that's a
Yeah,
little
is there
bit more than
anything else,
1750.
What else does Schumacher do at this point? Is it just our website? They are the company for our website.
Right,
Yeah.
that's what,
Yeah.
exactly, that's
Yeah.
what they, strictly what they do.
Unless we have an issue with them, the price isn't a significant amount of money where I would
Right.
say
If you want to revamp a website design, that can cost quite a bit
that's
of.
gonna cost a
Yeah,
lot more
I-
than
I don't know.
1,700.
Right.
I don't know if
Maybe
I'm
in a
prepared
couple
for
of years, I
that.
don't know. But Kyle can always help us with different things, and if we need them by hourly rate, it's $75 an hour,
Yeah, and they've always been attentive.
so.
Yeah,
John, are you guys at some point gonna incorporate BSNA?
Onto the website?
Well, with the website, and most municipalities are really converting to,
like for parcels
you
and
can go
stuff.
on there, you can click on, once you click on the website, you then click on BSNA, and you can go all the departments.
Well, our assessing is on there in BSNA, correct?
That's a good
Mary? It's
not tied
point.
to the-
So is there a link?
It's not tied to the website.
It's not tied to that?
I'll have to ask Kyle about that.
Because I know you
I
can
know
look
the
up tax
county
records
has
and
one.
things
Yeah.
like that. Isn't the
Yeah.
tax records
Your-
on
The
BSNA?
tax
They are,
records
but I don't
on
believe
there.
I don't think they're tied to the website, though.
And I'm
You-
not-
Revamp it, I mean, like, are we gonna get the
Yeah.
building department start getting onto BSNA? and
Yeah.
Build-
taxes
Yes.
already on there?
Yep.
Yeah, building department is already, we're finalizing that right now because we're gonna be
And they're
able
also
to
getting the credit card,
do
deal
credit
set
cards
up.
and everything
Yeah.
for building and
so
planning.
running
so-
back and forth with
Okay.
checks.
And that'll be coming soon. 'cause
But that's
we've been
not
working on
specific
that.
to the website, but I do,
Yeah, because
Oh, it would be.
the
You
only
have to
thing
go
you could
through
do
the
on there
website
is
to
you
get
can
to the
only
building
look up your
department.
own, you have to set up an
Right.
account with BSNA.
yeah, I do
Right.
know that a lot of
you
communities
can-
have a link from like the treasurer's office if you want to see your tax history. I think that's maybe what you were talking about.
Well, I know
You
that,
can see
yeah.
complaints, you can see the building permit.
Oh,
you
even
can
that
see the
stuff.
Inspections,
Yeah.
Mhm.
inspections are live, you know, then once they get done, they go in there and they're on the BSNA and it's all
Oh,
right there.
Yep.
Ray has
yeah,
that.
I don't know if we're gonna go that far. We are gonna be doing where you can pay your permits and everything like that, on credit card with building and planning and stuff like that. So, as well as in the office, if people are coming in with their credit cards to pay up till now for their taxes, we haven't been able to do that, but we will be able to do that, pretty soon, like within the next month, I would imagine, if not sooner. I know the county, does have BSNA linked on the county website. You can only access your property,
I-
without a fee.
I think you have to,
I think the
you
la-
probably need to ask Shoemaker if they can do that.
Yeah, I'd like you to ask that too. yeah.
I'm pretty sure they can.
And I think the last time I was on the county's website for the township, I don't believe they asked for a fee anymore, so I wonder if that has changed.
If
Well, that's
it's,
if the township, I think it's if the township pays for it
Yeah,
to be
yeah,
on
but
there.
I thought I looked up a township property and it gave me the information without asking.
oh, okay, because I know you can access your own on the
Yeah,
county
yeah,
website
yeah, sorry,
without
that's
any
it.
fees.
You should be able to look at any information, because if somebody had a question about, a complaint, they can see that if it's posted on there. They can see if permit was pulled. They don't even have to call the township to see if a permit was, in place, because it would be posted on there if the building department inputted it into BSNA.
Yeah, because I do a lot more at the building department level with BSNA than has ever been done before. That's what Chris has been working on, since she's been here.
The taxes and the building department.
I think there's
I'll
a
get
lot of
with between
opportunity.
That's
BSNA and.
the reason for a
Yeah.
$55,000 software. So it all is one and one
It
parcel.
makes a big difference, it
Yep.
really does.
So,
I'll
yeah,
get with-
see what they
Yes,
know.
I'll get with BSNA and
What-
Kyle and find
yeah,
out how it
exactly.
how it links on there, so.
Perfect.
Well, did we have a motion and a
Oh, I'll
support?
make a motion to approve $1750 for website redesign with an annual hosting fee of $300 per year and on-site training in the amount of $150.
I'll second that.
So like, yes, Murray?
I'd still like to see other prices, other quotes.
Well, then that would be a whole website.
I know, but if he's gonna redesign it, it's still gonna be a redesign.
Okay. Then Murray, yes or no?
I'll say no,
Job?
just to be difficult.
I'm gonna say no, if you could get the quote for adding that BSNA, so we aren't coming back in a month and saying, let's
Yep.
do this again. If we could do that, I would say no for right now.
Getzinger?
Yes.
Peter?
No, I agree, we should move the table, make sure we can get the BSNA linked and what the cost would be from Solve It, just so we know.
So you're
I'll
gonna
just
get a
put-
quote from Solve It if they do that?
If they
Well,
do
Just
that.
make sure it's
so
clear, and
so
then,
it failed for,
yeah, okay.
it failed for lack of support, so I'll make a motion
failed.
to, again, go have,
Just get a couple quotes.
contact Shoemaker Technologies and ask them if they can link the BSNA and revamp the website, and if there's a cost for that, and get the same from Solve It. And we'll have,
There's another local, a computer company in Romeo too that I've used before for web
Right.
design. It would be starting over, but,
Okay.
you
We'll
know,
start-
But anyway,
to
just-
get prices.
We'll start here.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Okay, Johnny made that motion.
I'll
Just-
second that.
Swag, yes. Patrick,
yes?
Murray?
Yes, this is doing okay, yeah.
Yep. Getzinger,
I'm sorry,
Yes.
Job.
I got baby
Yes.
brain for 2 days.
Wait a minute.
Okay, Spalding to Decker, the engineering proposal, Powell Road, Henshaw to Latham Drive. Maybe you can shed some light on this, Jim, because I didn't really understand it. The 5% for engineering and the 5% for construction engineering, it's already designed and engineered.
Yeah, I had the same concerns. Well, to me, I had quite a few questions, actually. First is, why is the intention for the township to bid and construct this? Is that why we're doing this?
Well, the
I think we
board-
need to start there.
No, the board had told me to get prices on it and get back. Now, because the conversation was had at the planning commission, the Latham Drive is gonna turn into a county road, and they're proposing 10 spec buildings on there with well and septic. So if we ever wanted to run our sewer or water anywhere to 32 Mile Road and go up towards our water and sewer district, halfway down Powell Road is a reasonable, but I didn't realize it was almost the cost of the entire project, water and sewer, from 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, again, I had a lot of thoughts on this. One was, we had, we kind of went through this and are, I guess, still going through, are we looking to extend water and/or sewer? We had Henshaw build the building, and they, as directed, as required by the township, extended the water main across their frontage. Certainly, they're at the corner next to the water main, so it wasn't multiple properties. And to have, for the township to pay potentially for the rest, I'm not sure I'm in
This would be
support of
the-
that.
What this would be the request, once you actually get it bid out for say, and the owner-developer would have to agree to it, we'd have to get something
Yeah,
signed.
is that the
But
intention
they
for
would
them to
have to
pay for it?
They would have to pay for their section across the front of their property, and it would have to put in
So-
according to the engineering that we've already had done, so we could continue that all the way down to 32.
Sure. Well, then, as you had commented, that another big part of this was this was already designed, already permitted.
Right.
We simply gave Henshaw the plans and said, construct it per our
Per our engineer.
our engineered plans, and they did. If Spalding and Decker needed to do any survey, in my opinion, it would be, here's where they ended, to update their drawings.
Yeah, we haven't had any earthquakes, so I can't imagine the topography changing.
And, yeah, so I certainly was surprised that this was a significant amount of money. So they're basically, in a sense, redesigning it when it's there. I don't agree with this proposal.
Yeah.
I guess they are our engineers and they have their costs, but
But
have
even
they
if
gone
you-
up that much
But
to?
I even look at it by saying, even if you take a look at the, 120 grand it is, it's still $1 million project.
Yeah.
And they're quoting it at today's estimated unit prices.
Well, it is 12-inch water main. I'm currently constructing a project in Richmond. It's only 8-inch water main, but it's less than half of that price. Their price is so inflated that it's making us not want to do it, but I'd say now is probably a bad time with the way things have been. I don't know.
I completely agree that it was a real shocker to me, because it was only $600,000, $600-some thousand 3 years ago.
So now may be a bad time just because prices are so high. Do we expect them to come back down? There's still a lot of work out there. Contractors are,
Well, and again, this
Busy.
was put together for our food for thought.
Yeah,
It was
I
all part of
understand.
that
those are just my initial comments. I had definitely had some concerns with that, of the whole thing.
And you are familiar with the cost of the 8-inch water, how much a foot is that?
Well, the project that I'm working on, it's 114 a foot. They've got 12-inch water main that's open cut at $250 a foot. So mine's directional drilled yet, which is
Okay.
typically higher. So those are just some, preliminary just thoughts that I had looking
Yeah,
at.
the only thing that we would, be able to put in place is if anybody along the route, wanted to hook up to the water, they'd have to pay for that section of water main in front. So I don't know how, because Henshaw's doing a new development on the property he bought south of him. So I don't know if he's running water from the existing pipe or
Well,
if he's running water across the front of the
If,
property.
if he is, again, my opinion is the township would expect them to extend that water main to allow them to have the water service. And again, that's kind of the upfront is, do we, as a township, if they want water and our decision is that they're paying for it, it'd be as simple as give them the plans. We shouldn't have to spend any money on that. I don't think. As far as we already have it designed, extend it.
I'm with you on that.
Uh,
He can get his own engineer too. Maybe he could find somebody that's not gonna be this.
But if they, the
1.185.
other thing is too, is they also, once they put in the well and septic, we're not
I know.
selling
I-
it.
They're not gonna.
I get it.
Well, I
It's this
know
hard, we
The
can't get
planning
started.
commission, they were gonna work with their engineers, and their engineers and our engineers were gonna work together, is the way I understood it. So,
That's the direction I was given from planning, by the way.
so,
Okay.
do I think the township needs to, number one, like you said, a lot of this has already been done and taken care of, but does the township eat it all? No, I don't think so. I think it needs to be, if anything, a shared cost with the developer, because, and then the other properties that fall within it, because there are some other properties that fall between Henshaw and Latham.
My understanding a
Correct.
couple of years ago, we went through this the last time, was that, at least at that time, it's really not appropriate for the township to pay for a project that's
Right.
benefiting those
Those-
property owners. And so I
Exactly.
think we're still in that spot.
I totally agree.
And I know this is kind of taking a rabbit trail, but you read about your letter of support for a wastewater plant, and I know it was short notice as far as getting it granted. In my opinion, I would have supported. I think would have been more practical to submit for $1 million to install some water main and try to get that.
Well, I'm
Certainly,
sure
I would have supported
it would
that.
be water
you
and
know.
sewer, because,
Yeah.
right now, what Romeo Village is asking Bruce Township for 100,000 gallons of flow is 1.2 million.
Yeah, I mean, it's not an easy answer. We'd have already had it.
Right, which is why they're, because
Yeah, I
they
know.
have
And
limited capacity, they'll run out. With the water, we don't have to worry about, X amount of gallons per
Sure.
property. We'll have plenty of supply.
Yeah.
Plus, we also affect the ISO ratings with all the businesses down there too. Again, it goes back to fire suppression.
Since we're talking about sewer as well, just one comment that I don't know if there's been any discussions with Washington Township. Certainly, they have a wastewater plant when you get into those discussions. And it'd be a lot cheaper than 19 million if we were to, say, build a lift station where the plant would go and have a force main potentially.
They do have capabilities in Washington
And
to
they need-
expand their current, it was built
Well-
with an expansion capability.
I was told they
they have
need
not-
users anyway, so.
Yeah, and they haven't done anything with it in 3 years, so I don't know.
Yeah, the big problem there, it's a 2-mile lift.
Yeah, well, say a force main, or eventually I expect they'll extend the sewer to the north and then it'll be closer. you know, but-
That was their original plan, but
Well,
And
they're
but
extending
the
it,
lift is
they're
not gonna
extending
be
it to the
19
north.
million.
They're actually coming across, right, they're actually coming
Yeah.
across in front of Ford Romeo engines, so.
It's too bad they weren't running up.
Now, they did
Powell.
run water down 32, so they have
Yeah.
hydrants along the property.
Yeah, and down Powell.
Because they had to put, the water has to be circulated.
Yep, Lupic, yeah. Okay. Anyway, those are my comments.
But anyway, that was the discussion I had. Taylor put this together for us, but I read off the bat and said, boy, if I could charge twice for a mold, boy, I'd be okay. So that was, I'm not making a motion to do
action, no.
anything,
No
no, it's,
action, nope. Mm-mm.
I'm just looking for some direction from the board, if I should call her back, if I should, have our engineer talk to their engineer, if they're interested in paying for the section of pipe in front. You know, maybe their builder, you know, if he can, we really don't care who puts it in the ground, but their builder might wanna say, well, gee, $250 a foot, I can get it done for $100 a foot, and run it all the way back for you, and we could pay his contractor to put the water pipe in back to Henshaw.
Well-
And is there anybody else in
In
that
between.
area that would
That's
want it?
interested.
That would, you know,
That's what, I
let's
know,
find
that's what I'm
out.
saying, there's
Let's
some other
find-
buildings in there, I know the Romeo
Yeah.
DPW's there, and they had no
Yeah.
interest or whatever, but
Yeah.
I know there's some other businesses right there.
So that's where I would start, is
Yeah.
to find out, like, who else would be interested in water?
Right, I agree.
We can do that.
So, do you have an understanding of how that conversation will go? Is it gonna be, having, either yourself or engineers contact the developer and
Well-
see if they're interested in extending the water main to their property?
Yeah, because right now their engineer's working with planning on those 10 spec buildings, so I could get the information from their engineer straight away from the planning department and call him and have a conversation with him and
Okay.
find out what kind of interest he'd have.
And then possibly see, because I don't recall what parcels, I did look on the aerial, I didn't see any big
Well, you got-
realistic candidates in my.
You have Hilco sitting right there. Hilco's on well. And Hilco was the one that had the big holding tank collapse, their septic. So, and they're right on the front northeast corner of Latham
Okay.
and Powell. And then the Lafada for a different, it's Lafada property that goes around behind the building and then comes up on the other side. So there's room for 10 spec buildings being 10 to 12,000 square feet.
And I would definitely get it all in writing, so that it's something to give to the board, the entire board.
Yeah, maybe have that conversation and follow it up with an email so we have a response from them, yeah.
Okay. So we'll,
No action on that?
nope, table
Well,
it.
he's got
No action.
direction to find out
Yeah,
Yeah.
who
just
wants
work
it,
on.
just
You can
send
bring
a
it back
letter
later.
and.
I put no action.
Yeah, no action's fine. We could put it back on. I would take it off the agenda because it'll take a couple months to put it together. Okay, Macomb PDR. Mr. Ken?
From my previous report, we so far have one application for the 2023 cycle for Macomb PDR thing. And those applications would go to the states for the 2024 cycle. So what we've done in the past is the 6 participating townships were agreeable to pledge $500 if we can come up with the rest of the funds to complete a deal. It's like doing a match, enticing and help scoring points more. So being we got one, I'm starting a cycle earlier to ask the townships if they would, again, renew their pledge. And if we do get funds, the pledge wouldn't be due until 2025, when we get near for closing on the parcel. So that's why I'm here asking the board if they would be kind enough to renew their pledge for this 2023 PDR cycle, or for the state's 2024 PDR cycle. And again, the money wouldn't be due until we get near the end of completing, which is why I asked for the pledge from 2021 to be sent to Richmond Township, because we're getting close to closing that one.
So we would make the pledge now, and then it would not be due till
2025.
2025. Oh, wow.
But this is to get it on paper, so
Okay.
we can send it in with our
Okay.
application to the state's 2024 cycle.
Okay.
Okay.
Because other times, I was busy running around in
Right.
December and end of November
Right.
getting these pledges. So being we have one, and possibly we might get 2 or 3 more, I don't know, but at least
We're
we're getting
prepared.
to understand how to work with the system.
And if nothing happens,
Yeah.
you know, we don't write the check.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So, yeah, so the pledge will be for the 2024 grant cycle.
This,
Because you,
the Agricultural Preservation Fund Board's 2024 cycle.
2024, okay,
Cool.
all right. I will make that motion to renew our pledge for $500 for the Michigan Agricultural Preservation Fund 2024 grant cycle, right?
Mhm.
We'll support.
So-
And if there's any other questions, like everything else, it takes a while to understand how the system works, and we're getting a better handle on it, and hopefully we can bring in some more money.
I just had a question, Ken. Like, does the PDR committee ever just, like, reach out for donations or anything like that?
We try, but again, we're, as you can see
Yeah.
in the state, our bylaws and everything, we're not compensated, we're basically volunteers.
Right,
And there's only so much time.
right,
to
but
go
you
out.
know, but people that don't want that big
Well-
farm next to them, hey, donate to the PDR committee or whatever.
Well, well, we reach out to our local newspaper, and you mentioned it before a few times in that.
Mhm.
We're willing, and it's tax deductible, not tax deductible because it's a charity or
The
nonprofit. with the
501c3,
township-
okay,
The
cool.
township, because we work on behalf of the township
Okay,
in that. And they can be sent to Richmond Township, attention, Macomb PDR Committee. And there's where we go, because, and you've done, and so did the fire department, grant applications and that, and naturally they got a listing. How much matching funds you willing to throw in here? What's your
Yeah.
commitment? And this
Yeah.
is our way of showing the state, these 6 townships here in Macomb are committed to this.
right.
And these past few times, we've been fortunate to score and bring some money in. So we're hoping to get evolving more, because Monica, if you can remember, when we did the first one in Richmond Township, we had the gentleman who was running it for the state, Rich Harlow, there. And he goes, "You're taking baby steps now. You're learning
Mm-hmm.
it's new, how to walk. We're walking pretty good now, and I'm hoping in the future, we're running." But we're still working through the process and educating the property owners, because it's not a one-size-fits-all.
Mm-hmm, right.
And there's where we were set up, and I encourage it. We're here to help the applicant go through it. We're not gonna talk the applicant into it, because
Right.
it's a big decision,
Yeah,
and it's a personal decision.
Absolutely.
So, we got a motion?
I do. Swag, yes. Joe?
yes.
Murray?
Yes.
Kittredge?
Yep.
Getzinger?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ken.
Yeah, thanks, Ken.
Drain maintenance, match program on Coon Creek. Dan Akavetti's been in touch with me a few times. You could probably spend 5 years cleaning out the drains. I do know that the drain that goes underneath the road on Wolcott, the one where they're replacing that box culvert, is all full of stuff.
Oh, that is bad.
It is bad. And so they're doing matching grant funds, but the proposed section that they had a complaint on, that they've already done some work on, I think he's already cleared a couple thousand feet of it, is the section from 33 Mile Road through to Hicks Road that crosses Armada Ridge and Coon Creek. The proposal they put together was a total estimated cost of $36,000. Our community portion would be $13,500. MCP, the Macomb County Public Works match would be $22,500. You know, they're saying 5,330 feet, which again is the spot blockages and deadfalls removal on Coon Creek from Hicks Road to 33 Mile.
Coon Creek and Hicks, they don't buy it out.
No, it's from Hicks Road.
Coon Creek drain,
Oh, the
the
Coon,
creek.
I'm
From-
going, wait a minute,
Yeah, from
where
Hicks
are you?
Road to Coon Creek.
So it's on Hicks,
Starts-
No, it
starts at
runs,
Hicks
it
Road,
runs down,
And then it ends at 33.
and it crosses Armada Ridge and it ends at
Okay, I see it.
33, you're right. And what they're saying is they would, they would do spot cleanage and open up that whole drain for,
So this is no dredging or spoils removal, it's just deadfall,
I believe
debris,
it's deadfall.
brush?
Yep. And they have down here, the contractors are Cross Brothers Excavating and the Macomb County Public Works Office drain maintenance team are the two entities involved.
I will say I have just one experience recently with this program at my job, and I dealt with Danny and Cross Brothers, and I'll say that they did a good job. And that project, they did a lot of brush removal and a significant amount of spoil. So I'm kind of surprised they're not doing any bank, cutting or anything like that. But I'll say that the price seems consistent with the project that I had, which was much smaller than this.
Well, they were the ones that not only cleaned up the park, but they were the ones that did all the scrub and everything in there and turned it into an actual park instead of a bunch of tag hauler.
Yeah, I mean, they have
So-
the equipment to do, they did a good
Yep.
job in my experience, so,
And my thought would
Are
be
they-
to
they
take
reach-
that portion out of the,
Well, actually, we could do a batch amendment.
well, my thought would just be to use out of the brine
Of the brine?
Yep.
Okay.
for
That's fine.
maintenance.
but they, as far as after saying they did, that I have no concerns if the board chooses for them to proceed, this is something the county reached out to us, the township, to
Yes.
say we'd like to do this?
Yep.
Based on, they had a complaint?
Yeah, based on the fact that they're working in the drain now because they got a complaint. So they're doing spot cleanups now and
Yeah.
they're saying if we can do this whole thing.
According to this letter, they've had multiple
Of course,
complaints.
And Dan Accavetti also said if necessary, he'd come up and,
Speak.
yep, and put on a PowerPoint presentation, whatever it takes, just to explain, exactly what their intent is. I know right now, just from cleaning up the river at the park, man, what a difference does it make?
And we gotta do that at our house too. Well, I told Brian we have to do that.
And Dan did say, that generally, our drains are pretty good because almost all the drains run across farmland, and the farmers, generally take care of their stuff. If they pull trees out, they don't wait for somebody to pull them out for them. It's stuff that tends to run through residential areas and stuff that gets somewhat overgrown.
I did go check out drains, but we've had so much rain, they were all gurgling.
Oh, yeah, no,
Crazy.
trust me.
We
The
could have
debris.
all of them.
Certainly slows down the flow.
So anyway, I would consider a motion for this project. If anybody would like to make it, I would support it.
I'll make a motion to approve $13,500 for drain maintenance match program with Macomb County Public Works for the Coon Creek Drain.
Coon Creek Drain number 061.
Number 061.
I would support that.
So yes, Murray?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Getzinger?
Yes.
Peter?
Yep. Okay, we'll get a hold of Dan Accavetti, get that put in the works. Attorney at the monthly board meetings.
Yep. I put that on the agenda just for consideration. It might reduce the phone calls and issues that we have with certain things. It's just something to talk about.
Yeah,
I have no issue with it.
No?
And I would like to, before we do that, I would like to go out and check for possible new attorneys, new engineers. That might not be something
Thank
to
you.
look at.
new planner.
New plan, let's just look at our professionals.
I agree with you 100%
I
on
think
that.
that's
I've been
just
asking for
something-
that. We've had some issues with our planner.
We need to,
too,
Oh,
then.
definitely.
so
Okay.
before we
No
start
action,
having
that's
them
fine.
here monthly, I think that we
We
should
need
just
to-
go out and start looking, a new auditor. I mean, I think we
Yep.
need to really just go all out.
Do a clean sweep
And
and
let's just
RFP,
see, and
everything.
we might keep them, who knows?
Right.
But let's look, and especially if we're looking at water and sewer again, we should not be having the same as everybody else. I think that we need to really
And we
look
do.
at this and start looking.
I
So,
agree. All right.
Is he still the attorney for, Bruce?
Yep.
Yeah.
And Ray,
And right, yeah.
In Washington.
and Washington,
Yeah.
so, yeah. So, okay.
Yeah, I've been wanting that for quite a while, just to do a clean sweep, RFP everything, and
And let's just say, like I said,
Yeah.
let's do our due diligence on this.
So
agreed.
do we just put
I
RFPs
just put
together?
no action. Oh,
What?
yeah.
Yeah,
We put our,
right.
And
And then
Do
we'll
we
come
need
up
to-
with,
we'll
people
have
to
to
send 'em to?
construct, we'll have to do the RFPs first, and
Right.
then they go to the board.
right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Okay.
should that be a motion to put RFPs together for all?
I'll make the motion, you second it?
Yeah.
Okay.
What positions are those again?
Engineer,
Auditor,
Planning.
planner, auditor,
Lawyers.
lawyer,
Lawyer,
Engineer, you said?
yes.
Yep.
engineer,
Just those three?
Auditor, you
Auditor,
got auditor,
planner,
planner,
Engineer.
engineer, attorney.
Attorney,
attorney.
there's four.
Four.
and who's gonna prepare?
Oh,
Our attorney?
I'll
Yeah,
have
we'll
to,
figure it out.
we'll figure it out.
Well, you know
Okay, I
what?
made the motion, Sarah made the seconded
I have
to,
somebody I can contact.
develop RFPs for auditor, planner, engineering, and attorney.
Perfect.
I can probably put the RFP together for the engineer and planning.
Okay. Maybe you should reach out to other communities, see if they have any.
Have we
Yeah.
done it before? We might have an old one ourselves even.
Well, we did look for a new planner, but the interest was one of the problems. You know, we just didn't get a lot of interest in,
And that could be the same thing.
Sure.
Right.
but
Right,
let's
but we don't know
find
if we
out.
don't look.
Right.
Sure, yeah, and I'm certainly not opposed to preparing these and looking. I would caution that, you know, experience is something we should consider as far as like experience with the township. It's not always in our best interest just to change every couple
Right.
years
But
or every year.
it's good to look. I mean, you have to look at
It's
insurance.
always in our
and-
best interest to keep
well,
them.
I'll put together the RFPs for planning and planning and zone, or
Engineering?
planning
I
and
will look
engineering, and
at
then if you'd review them.
for attorney and auditor. I will look into
I'm
that.
sure we could all look at them. Yeah, I'd be happy to help in any way I can again,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, we'll see what everybody puts together. Swank, yes, Murray?
Yes,
Patrick?
Yep.
Getzinger?
Yes.
Joe?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, fire department new ambulance lettering. Chief?
Reached out to 3 companies for lettering. The first one was Magic Graphics out of Clinton Township. The next one was the actual dealership, which was Kodiak. And then we also reached out to Vinyl Graphics. Vinyl Graphics actually sent us something that was a no-bid bid. They weren't interested in bidding it. I've been on them for several weeks, and today they finally sent something and said they're just too busy.
They're too busy,
Send
right.
a copy to Mary on that.
Yeah, she
We
gave
have
it to us, yep.
But the other 2 bids, the first one we'll say was Kodiak for $4,500, and the second one for Magic Graphics. They bid it 2 ways for the 2 parts. So a lot of times when the ambulances are manufactured, they come with the chevrons on the back. That is a DOT requirement, a triple K spec requirement. For whatever reason, when this one got produced, it didn't. A lot of times they use different color combinations, like case in point Shelby Township, they have their little angle to it with some black in there, so it wasn't put on the back of it, so therefore now we're required to. So Magic Graphics gave us the 2 prices. One included the vehicle itself, and the second one was for the chevron on the back. The total cost on that was $2,976. We have used Magic Graphics in the past. Most police and fire agencies in the counties use them. They're exceptional, and I was recommending that we went with Magic Graphics for the cost of $2,976 for the full.
A motion to approve Magic Graphics to do the vinyl graphics on our new ambulance for a price not to exceed $2,976.
support.
Did you happen to contact the ambulance company and say,
Yeah, that
what's up?
was,
I did, and that was the reason why, is because
Oh.
it wasn't a custom built for a certain department. So that's why they didn't do it. Because everybody like wants to put their little spin on it, and someone black is the big thing
Diamond.
now. Yeah, and it just, so that's why they didn't do it.
yeah.
Okay.
And their Kodiak their price was over $1,500 more than
Yeah.
Magic Graphics, so, and Magic Graphics is used by a lot of municipalities, so,
Okay, let her run it, Mary.
Swank, yes, Murray?
yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Getzinger?
Yes.
Patrick?
Yep,
Yeah, it'll be delivered to them tomorrow then, and then we'll get next.
thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Trustee Getzinger?
Nothing, thank you.
Trustee Job?
Yep, I just noticed that one of these letters still had, it was addressed to the deputy supervisor. We no longer have a deputy supervisor, so,
Yes, you do.
no, we don't. It's not on the budget, it's getting
Actually,
paid.
she's appointed, so she still is the deputy supervisor, but she just doesn't get paid for what she
But I
does.
didn't think that we could do that anymore.
You
So-
can't take away an employee from someone else's department, as I understand it.
But they can't do work for the township without getting paid. We
And-
went through this years ago with the deputy treasurer, and it was like they cannot be getting paid if they are not, and they cannot do work. They can't volunteer and do things
It's my
up
understanding
here.
they can only do the statutory duties. That's my understanding.
Well, we'll check.
Treasurer
We'll
Murray?
check into that.
I just was, going through all the final budgets and everything again for this current fiscal year, and I just, I still don't like the budget. I don't think any of us really do, but I would just caution everybody to really, keep a close eye on your departments and, if you can cut a corner without sacrificing any quality, let's work on that so we can get these numbers in better alignment.
And to
For the-
look at the budget monthly, go line by line.
Yeah, so that's all I had. I just really am blown away, but
Clerk's
it is
va-
what it is.
Clerk's vacuum?
Nothing.
I don't have anything either, so I'd like, no closed sessions tonight. Make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 8:26.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
There we go.
Aye.